States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I'm not sure what the watch.
It's really cute, and I think you would like it, but it fits me well.
No watching for her, it's for you too.
You should, you could.
I think we need to put that on
And
hold.
it's shorter than the one, and I don't know whatever. But you
Show us the group in Francis.
it's in a sweater. So, maybe I just.
That part we'll put on hold.
I'll make a motion to recess the commissioners' meeting and open the salary board meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. And Sally board. All 901, all are present. Item 1.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 12th meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve the minutes of the April 12th, 2017 meeting. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Item 2.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 2, creating the position of non-union full-time director of assessment / chief assessor at a salary of $45,000 per year.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 2, create the position of the full-time director of assessment / chief clerk. Questions or comments? Yes.
Don't we have that position now?
Those people are leaving.
So who are those people that are leaving?
That would be Tom Button and Mary Nolte.
They're leaving the whole department?
Yes,
What, are they retiring?
from the county, yeah.
From the county they're retiring? So now you have 2 positions that are open, is that it?
It'll be 1 position. We're creating 1 position.
And when you say non-union, was it non-union before?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any public comment on the salary board? If none,
Make a motion to close salary board and return to the commissioners.
I'll second that.
motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, close the salary and go to the commissioners meeting. All in favor? Aye. Commissioners meeting back at 9:03. You know much from you so far today, Treasurer. Item number 5.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 26th meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 5, approve the minutes of the April 26th meeting. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item 6.
Make a motion to approve item number 6 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 6 on the agenda. Ratify or approve the following cash disbursements or electronic payments. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Item 7.
I'll make a motion to ratify or approve the first 2 items in that motion and to
third.
table the 3rd item regarding registrar and recorder's office.
Why are we doing that?
Because it appears that she's got her solicitor's registration, that she's got asking the county to pay that, and we don't do that.
Okay. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 7 on the agenda, except for the 3rd item for the registered recorder's office, which is tabled. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 8.
Make a motion to approve item number 8 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 8 on the agenda, ratify or approve the resignation of Michelle Summers of Montrose from the position of sergeant. Questions or comments?
And how long was she sergeant?
A couple of years.
Oh, she has.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 9.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 9 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve and modify the retirement date for Tom Button, Chief Assessor, from June 7th to July 19th. Questions or comments?
So he is retiring, Tom.
Yes.
Tom Button.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve item number 10 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to accept with regret the resignation of Mary Nolly, Director of Assessment, effective May 24, 2017. Questions or comments?
Per recommendation of, what's the name of the person here?
Rachel Carrico.
That's a new person?
No, she's been in that office for a couple months now.
Oh, couple months.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 11.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 11.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold, second by Commissioner Warren, to approve item 11 on the agenda, approve the hiring of Paul Paff of Endicott, New York, to the open position of Assistant Director of IT. Questions or comments?
And what is IT?
That's our technology department, handles all our computers and our software, information technology. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, item 12.
Make a motion to approve item number 12 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 12 on the agenda, to reappoint the following to the Susquehanna County Tourism Committee. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 13.
Make a motion to approve item number 13 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 13 on the agenda, to appoint the following to Susquehanna County Tourism for a term of May 1st, 2017 through April 30th, 2018. Questions or comments?
So these people are new, Carrie Fuss and Sandra Conklin. They're
That's
brand
correct.
new to the tourism thing?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 14.
Make a motion to approve item number 14 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 14 on the agenda, to award the citation for the Susquehanna County Soil Conservation for 70 years of service. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 15. Whoop, Public comment, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Craig Lehman. I serve as a Lancaster County Commissioner. I happened to see a YouTube of the minutes of, I think it was April 12th. There was discussion about the Wagner reception that was held in Harrisburg. And some of the comments suggested that I don't care about counties. So I wanted to be here this morning to let you know that I care about all counties in Lancaster County. I believe I proved that when I was president of CCAP, where I visited all 67 counties, and I just wanted to stop by this morning I felt the best way to reflect that was actually to be here. So I wanted to take the time out of my schedule to attend your meeting today to let you know that I absolutely do care about counties in Lancaster, in Pennsylvania, Susquehanna included, not just Lancaster County. As far as the Wagner reception is concerned, the focus of that letter was really to make sure that the natural gas issue and CCAP doesn't get politicized, even as a result of perhaps a organizational approach that wasn't perfect. And you always find me that within CCAP, we try to keep things nonpartisan and to try to make sure that we keep issues nonpartisan, because as a nonpartisan organization, that's the best way we can be effective, and that was really the intent of the letter. So I just wanted to come here this morning, make those brief comments, and just thank you for the courtesy.
Well, thank you for coming,
I'd like
and
to make
we
a
appreciate.
comment. I'd like to make a comment.
We appreciate you coming here today, although we may not agree on things, but we do appreciate you coming and making that statement. Any other public comment?
I'd like to make a comment about whatever he said. What is the disagreement, and why is there a disagreement between you or anybody on the issues?
I don't know, do we ever disagree, Vera?
Well, can you explain some of the disagreements? Can you explain some of the disagreements?
There's probably not enough time in the day to explain all the disagreements. No, there was I think you missed that meeting, there was a rally that we had in Harrisburg at the CCAP meeting that was to try and promote the issues that we're dealing with natural gas in the communities, especially the issue with the royalties, minimum royalty bills. If you remember, the legislation and CCAP have been working on this since 2011 or 2012, and we're still no closer today than we have ever been. And so we put together a rally to try and bring rural Pennsylvania together, small counties, that are experiencing the issues with the minimum royalty bills and the issues with the gas industry. And it was one of the people that sponsored the event by way of paying for the room or for the hors d'oeuvres or whatever you want to call it. There was Scott Wagner, who is apparently a candidate for the governor in the next election. But there was a pushback from the other side of the aisle to tell people not to come because it was a political event and was supporting Scott Wagner, and that was not the case. This was an opportunity to get rural Pennsylvania together, and we're going to continue to do that, and we're setting up other meetings to do that. So.
And where is Scott Wagner from, or
I think he's from York County.
York County?
Yeah.
And does he have a position now, a political position?
I think he's, was he a senator or something?
He's a state senator.
State senator.
Senator
So.
Scott Wagner.
Here, I'll just give you a copy of the letter.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't want to, I didn't come here for a debate today, so I'll
Okay.
just give you the letter and let
Thank
that
you.
speak for itself.
Anybody else got any public comment? Yes, Vera.
I'd like to know more about what's the purpose of the survey with the comprehensive plan? Has that been sent out to all kinds of residents?
People have gotten postcards. It's on our website, so people can go on and fill out the survey, so it'll help create the comprehensive plan.
And then in the comprehensive plan, it talks about whether you want to keep things local mostly, or maybe you want some zoning, or if you want the county to take precedence over the local municipalities. That seemed to be some of the questions. So I was wondering what your opinion is about zoning at this point, because it may be good that we could have some zoning, especially to control some of all the industrialization that's going on in our county.
Well, again, the confusion here is that zoning will keep industrialization out of here. It does not. If you have zoning, you still have to have industrial zones. You still have to have agricultural zones. You still have to create those zones for those business opportunities and for people to come. We already have several communities, and I think it's 4 or 6 or something like that, that have their own zoning already. I can't remember off the top of my head. There are other ones right now that are working on. There's a group over in the northeastern part of the county that's working. There's 4 or 5 municipalities working on zoning over there to determine whether they want to have zoning or not. And there's been zoning in the past where the Northern Tier Coalition came together to do zoning in the northwestern part of the county, and they failed and decided not to do it. So again, I'm a firm believer zoning is a component of what local government needs to do. It should not be a county issue.
So then, if people want to do zoning in different townships, can they actually zone oil and gas activities? Can they zone them in, like you say, industrial zones or industrial?
Well, they can zone commercial development, industrial development, which would then limit the ability as to where those industries can be.
So that can be done. So, because like where I was raised, you know, New Jersey, and then lived on Long Island, we had industrial zones, we had industrial parks. We did not put industrial activity next to people's homes, next to schools, or on school property, or on farms. That was like completely unheard of. So when I do tours here for people who come to see what's happening, they're pretty much shocked to see that we have activity within 500 feet of homes or closer. So are we able, with this type of comprehensive plan, can we eventually on a municipal level have what we have in the suburbs and in the urban areas, industrial zones and industrial parks?
Well, I
For
hope,
oil and gas.
I hope that we never end up like New Jersey or New York. I like being Pennsylvania, and must be great because that's why everybody from New Jersey and New York want to move here and buy the land here. 26% of our tax bills go outside the county. So, you know, we definitely don't want to be like New Jersey, especially with the issues they have. But as far as zoning, zoning can be done at any time at the local level if they pass all the legislation at the local level to do zoning.
So then we could, what, restrict gas drilling just to industrial zones?
No,
Can we put compressor stations just in industrial zones?
I don't think you can do that either.
So then what's the point of zoning for oil and gas? How would we do anything with that?
Well, you know, if somebody's coming in to use an oil and gas facility to do something else with it, like a cracker plant or something like that, then that might be something that could be zoned.
A cracker plant could be zoned,
Yeah,
or a plastics plant.
sure, they're all commercial and industrial.
Anything new with the Shager property that you know of, or?
Yeah, it's no longer pending, it's off the market, and nothing's going on with it.
So it's not even on the market for
No.
other buyers?
Nope.
And, all right, so I was wondering about that. So you're trying to find out in the survey what people think at this point, if they...
Well, it's a chance for the public to be involved in the comprehensive plan, to express their opinions and what's important to them, so that it can be part of the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, Scoop.
Can we talk a little bit about the response from Penelec last week?
Okay.
Like, just generally, how they responded, the number of things, like, did the county have any issues with that, with the number of?
Well, I thought, let me make sure I make this real clear, because when I made a statement before, first thing people say is, oh, you're beating up the workers. Listen, I never have a problem with the workers. The workers we have do an excellent job and put in the hours they need to do the best job they can. I've never, ever had a problem with a working man in my life. Corporations and government, I have huge problems with. Corporations are the ones that decide not to replace people when they retire, to downsize, to cut costs, to subcontract out and not have the crews that they normally would have, to decide to not do the preventive maintenance work that they've done for years and years, because let's wait for it to fall apart and break before we fix anything now. So those are the issues I have. Do I think Penelec did a great job? I will tell you the workers did a great job. Do I think the corporation did a good job? Absolutely not. They get an F in my book.
And why did they get an F? Can you explain?
You put us out of power for 4 or 5 days with one storm. And if you'd done your preventive, and to top it off, in Halsted on Pine Street, there was a transformer that sat upside down and leaked oil out for 20 hours before they uprated it and took care of it. Now they've spent the next 4 days digging dirt up, spraying chemicals, and yet nobody from DEP or the electric company has told anybody whether it was full of PCBs or what was in that transformer.
Now, I did see crews from Ohio all over. Did you
Well,
see
there you
that?
go. There's a perfect example. So we don't want to hire local people. We'll bring people from New Jersey and Ohio here to do our work. So, no, if you want warm and fuzzy, I'm not the guy to talk to.
You're always warm and fuzzy.
Didn't it come on Thursday and then it went back out on Friday?
Yeah, but that wasn't a Penelec issue. That was a NYSEG issue. Yeah.
How long was it out that time?
A long time.
It went out at noon on Friday and came back on, I think it was
11:20-ish.
12 o'clock at night. But that was a main transmission line that went down in New York State.
It was just very sad.
And Penelec did respond the best they could. They did reroute power from other substations, but the wire size was not big enough to power everybody, or would have just melted the wires and we'd been in worse shape. So they were able to get it back on to some areas. My issues and concerns are simply this. Again, we go through a situation in our county where we now have, and what is it, 30% or 35% of our people in our county are elderly or on fixed incomes that have gone without power for 4 days, lost hundreds of dollars worth of food out of the refrigerators and everything. Then Friday morning, we're lucky enough to go back out and buy more food and stick it in their refrigerator, not only to have the power go back out at noon and run a risk again. But, you know, the responses, I don't think were good enough. I don't think there was enough crews here. They will tell you they brought in 200 crews. They brought 200 crews in, they should have brought 400 crews in. If we were down in Harrisburg, we would have had 10 times the people here.
Can you help the people who lost food, like with impact money?
No. You're always trying to spend that money here, huh?
On real impacts.
Well, there you go.
On real
Well, that impact wasn't because of the gas industry either.
Vera,
So,
Could I just say, they're welcome to go to the food bank and explain the situation, and the food bank will make boxes for them.
And one thing we tried to do was, we tried to reach out to the Department of Ag, Commissioner Warren did, to try and get food for the people here. The response from the Department of Ag was that because nobody was making any requests to the food bank, that it wasn't a need, so they weren't sending anything. So my message to people would be next time is, the next time we have a situation like this is to call the food bank and tell them that you're out of food, you're losing your food. That way we can maybe get some assistance from the state. The other issue that we came up, and I wish Ed and Bruce were here today because they were always a big one on this, with the smart meters. You know, it's always been a concern that the smart meters were going to control our lives. They could see what we were doing. After this event, we know that the smart meters aren't very smart at all, because we were calling in at the county level to several people at Penelec saying this place is still out of power, and they were saying, well, gee, we didn't know that community was out of power. Well, how smart are your smart meters? Can't tell this community's not using any power? And that's the other thing that the public needs to do. That they cannot assume that because they're out of power, somebody's called and told the electric company they're out of power. Everybody needs to call. Because we had several locations where people didn't call and Penelec didn't know they were out of power.
So where are the hardest hit areas in our county?
Halsted, Great Bend, Little Meadows were probably some of the worst ones. Friendsville. Bill?
I'm on Claverack, and I know the second outage was caused by Penelec, because Penelec supplies Claverack. Claverack did an outstanding job as far as I see. But if they don't get the supply, they can't.
Claverack did a great job. They had their crews out immediately. They were working on it. They got everything up. The only problem they had, they fixed something, but they couldn't get the line energized because they couldn't get the power from Penelec.
Right.
So. Anything else? Yes.
I wanted to ask Betsy, how did your trip to Harrisburg go this past week?
Very good. It was yesterday. It was a Lyme rally on the steps of the Capitol. And
For Lyme?
For Lyme disease, yep, and getting treatment that people need. There's two bills. There's the Senate Bill 100 and the House Bill 174 that we need to get passed so that people can get the treatment that they need. And there was 3 senators that spoke that were very passionate about it. Senator Greenleaf is the one that wrote the bill, I believe, and he's been working on that since 1989. So there again, you need to call your senators and your representatives and ask them to support those bills for Lyme disease and treatment.
What's that bill number again?
Senate Bill 100 and House Bill 174.
And what do they say as far as treatment? What are some of the details, can you say about those bills?
Well, they need longer times on antibiotics. A lot of times doctors only prescribe it for like 10 days, and they need long-term antibiotic treatment.
Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, I wanted to
Last one, Vera.
I wanted to ask Mary Ann, are you involved with the Independent Women's Democratic Group yet in any way?
No, I'm not, Vera.
And what's holding you back? I'm wondering.
I have no comment, Vera.
And I'd like to know too that the independent group of women, of Democrats, are having a problem meeting with Senator Marino. Is it Congressman Marino? Congressman Marino, and they've been trying to meet with him, and he won't return calls, and the aides are not responding either, so they're having a lot of difficulty. Any suggestions how to get a hold of Marino in his office and get him to respond to his constituents?
They have shown up on his steps. He has not responded, so I don't know.
Is there
I don't have
any-
any secret number or anything.
Is there
like
anything
that.
you guys can do maybe to encourage Marino to?
Not get involved in a political party. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
Vera, the questions that I would like you to ask are things about what we're doing in the county and what's going on, as opposed to outside groups, I guess. I met with Senator Casey's office yesterday. We met with people from emergency management, police. We met with education, superintendents, school boards, and we also met with treatment and prevention and suicide awareness. You know, they're the things that are happening on the ground and need attention. Need volunteers, need money. You know, they're the things I'd like you to ask about. An outside group that that has nothing to do with county government, I guess.
Well, outside group is our county, it's our county residents, they're not like
I know, but it's
outside.
specific to Democrats.
Right, and then, so can you give us some details about whatever you were just saying, like, you know, what's going on?
I'll meet with you after the meeting.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
You'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Nice
Thank you
seeing
for the
you.
courtesy.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Have a safe